shish kebab. I'm just a soul whose intentions are good.
You're always so hyperbolically violent. You need therapy.
Die, Nazi.
He's not a Nazi, GI.
Oh, okay.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Superlair, and today is a big day for us. I can't believe we're here, but the beginning of the DCU has officially started. And of course, I'm happy to be joined by my brother from another mother, JG Shaolin, terrific, to enter the future. How you doing today, man?
Salute! Man, early morning, I am ready for this. Let's go.
I know, man. It's crazy to think about. 4 years ago, we were talking about Batgirl in the very first stream, man. And all that is gone, and here we are with the future, walking into the future.
And I don't want the world to see me, 'cause I don't think that they'd understand. When everything's made to be broken, I just want you to know I am.
Walking into the future and looking glorious while doing it. But we also have another guest. Man, I've been wanting to talk to this man forever. He is a fellow Superman diehard. When that Superman trailer drops, whenever it drops, I can't wait to talk about it with him. But James Prescott, how you doing today, man?
Yeah, hi. I'm good. I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, so here we are for Creature Commandos. The first 2 episodes dropped 3 a.m. EST. What are our thoughts going into this very first project for the DCU, man? This is big. This is really, really big.
Well, I'm very excited. I can't wait. I love James Gunn, and I completely trust him. And I've seen enough of this show already in the trailers and everything to know it's going to be good. So I'm really, really excited for this whole universe to begin. Yeah.
JG, how you feeling right now?
I'm feeling good about it, man. This isn't a great way to start it out by doing animation. It's animation. You can pretty much do with anything you want with it, right? And looking at the trailers, we know it's gonna be funny, of course. We know Gunn does well with team up movies with groups, like we saw with everything else he's done. So, yeah, I'm excited for it, man. New start for DCU, and hopefully it's a great start because I'm sick of the MCU madness. I need some DC in my life. I need it.
Yeah, man, I need this. And I'm excited for the characters. I think it looks super fun. James, I know we were talking about Frank Grillo and how like passionate he is about being a part of this, and I love to see that enthusiasm. James Gunn talking about Creature Commandos and Superman, like his enthusiasm radiates off the screen, and you can't help just to be hyped, bro. Like I'm so ready to enter the future with these new characters that we're going to see him in Superman and Peacemaker season 2. We have connectivity right off the bat, which I think is awesome. I mean, it's awesome. And the world building, man, I've heard some things about things we potentially could see, and it's like, wow, they're not messing around to start off with this first project. And what I love about this one in particular is that, back in the Peacemaker days, Peacemaker season 1, we would get like a Batmite or a Green Arrow reference, and it would just be like a fun little thing. But now with this, we'll see character appearances, and they'll, ideally they'll pay off, and we'll see them in the future, and there's payoff to it, and I think that's super exciting. So who knows what this holds? I'm ready to go. So 2 episodes, both 23 minutes, very short, but I'm ready to get going. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna send the Google Meet link. We usually use Teleparty, but I figured let's switch it up, see if this is any better, any different.
Can't wait. Very excited.
I am, man. I'm ready to go. So the Google Meet link has been sent in the private chat.
Yeah. I've already had the theme tune of this show. It's typical James Gunn, so I'm very excited about it.
All right.
Speak, JG.
Yo, can you hear me?
I hear an echo. I think
let's see.
it's maybe because you have your Google Meet mic on.
Oh, okay. Let me see. Okay, what about now?
Perfect. That's exactly what it was.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, cool.
Is this
All right.
going live on YouTube or something?
No, we're not showing it on YouTube because they would take us down. But just us three together are watching it. And what I'm gonna do right now is gonna put up a stopwatch. Basically, if you're watching along live right now, or if you want to watch this on the replay, you can sort of just see where we are with this. All right, let me make sure this is good to go. All right, are you guys ready?
Let's do it.
Do it.
All right, here we go. First episode. Oh, I guess we should say there are 2 episodes of Creature Commandos. What we're going to do is we're going to watch the first episode. We're going to stop and talk about it, review it, and then we'll go into the second episode just for you guys' knowledge. All right, here we go. Creature Commandos, episode 1, The Collywobbles. Yeah, baby, that intro. Let's go.
Yes.
Let's go. Superman, the GOAT. Off the bat, Wonder Woman reference. Love it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's up in the police department.
Oh God, this is gonna be very topical.
Oh wow, yeah.
Oh
I'm
boy.
loving it already.
Oh, I love it. Mm.
Wow.
There you go. Anything they mention is canon.
Yeah.
Mm. Oh my god.
Oh, that's cool, man.
Wow.
I love that.
Sorry, that was their idea. Not
What a
so
fun
fun.
intro, man.
Thinking of it.
Not a great job. Yeah.
Oh my god. Insane animation. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Wow.
Mm.
Oh my god.
This is definitely TVMA. Hmm.
As usual, James Gunn soundtrack is awesome.
Hmm. Zac Efron.
Oh my god.
that got me. Just the animation and just the one live action picture. Oh, that's great. Yes. Okay. So let's just sit through these credits. Let's see if there's anything after, and then we will talk about episode 1.
Interesting soundtrack. You can see studios there. Awesome.
All right, so that's it for that episode. Let's go ahead and stop this. Let
Okay.
me go ahead and share my screen, get a picture up on here. All right, so I'll let you guys go first, man. What'd you think? General thoughts on Creature Commandos episode 1? JG, starting with you.
Well, first I was skeptical about the animation at first, but then as I see it, I'm loving it. I'm really digging it. It does give me Invincible vibes with the animation, but it's still good. I like it. It's funny, like I knew it was going to be. I love some people call it Easter eggs. I would say, look, Gunn has always talked about how this is going to be a connected universe, and with the names is dropping and everything, we're seeing it, right? Rick Flag his death, it is thrown in there, right? And Weasel, oh my God, Weasel. He doesn't have to say anything; he just does stuff and it's funny. Yeah, I'm curious I'm really curious about how he's going to do it if he puts these characters into live action, or is he just going to keep these guys animation and maybe throw the names out with the live action installments? I don't know, but either way, I'm really digging it. Dude, this is actually exceeding my expectations.
Nice.
As
nice.
early as it is in the morning, I'm still half awake. I'm enjoying all of it. Any other thoughts? Wait.
I think you cut out JG.
Yeah, I think he's cut out.
Okay, that's just not me. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not crazy. Well, while we wait for him to return, James, what are your thoughts on this first episode?
Yeah, it's everything I expected and more. I really liked it. The animation's really good. Really interesting story. There's a lot more to come. You can tell there's a lot more to come. There's some little stories opening up with different characters. And almost like you get that little window into the universe right at the beginning, which I really liked. And of course, it's really, really funny.
Yeah.
The soundtrack's brilliant. It's very obviously it's typical James Gunn, but in a really good way. Yeah, I think it's brilliant. I'm excited to see the next episode. I think they've done a really good job.
Yeah, absolutely. JG, are you with us?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Great. I'm happy you said that, man, about the soundtrack. is very Gunnish, right? It's very Peacemaker-ish, right? This all the humor, all the line deliveries it reminds me a lot of Peacemaker. And I love Peacemaker. And so even early in the beginning, right? The Themyscira, it just the verbiage that the character uses is so present day, right? The woke, right? Stuff like that, right? And saying that they're gonna go conquer Themyscira. I wonder why they want to go conquer Themyscira.
Yeah, right.
And the Zac Efron on a cell phone, the wallpaper, dude. That's oh my god.
That got me.
That was so
Dude.
good. So good. Yeah.
And don't let me forget about the choreography, the fight choreography in it. Brilliant.
Yeah, that
Brilliant.
fight with Phosphorus and Rick Flair was
Yes.
superb.
Very smooth, and I really love it. I'm trying to think of anything negative I could think about it. I wish it was a little longer.
That's fair.
Other than that, I mean, so I've heard something about the episode 2 with a fight sequence. So I heard it was really, really good. So I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with everything you guys are saying. I think this was a very fun and strong start to the series. Like James said, it's a little appetizer into the world that we'll be fully seeing in Superman. As James Gunn said, if they bring up something from the past DCEU projects like Peacemaker or the Suicide Squad, it becomes canon. It's pretty much the same in terms of, Rick Flag Jr. is dead, Senior is dealing with that, and it's so weird how James Gunn can bring emotion and you can believe it in an instant. Like the close-ups of Rick Flag Sr. He's like, yeah, I used to have this son, and I was like, yeah, I feel I understand where you're coming from, and I feel what you're saying. Let's see what else we see. Waller, obviously, the end of Peacemaker season 1 is canon with Adebayo, her daughter, basically outing her in her operation, right? And so I like how Waller, she's always thinking, she's always like, okay, how can we get around this? How could I continue my agenda? And very smartly, she's like, well, monsters aren't human, so let's use them.
I mean, just to see Amanda Waller meet Superman and see how that works out.
Oh man, ooh, God, that's what's super exciting about this universe is the crossovers on the horizon.
We're already excited for Peacemaker season 2 because Rick Flag's a big part of that, and the death of his son is canon. So that's a whole story right there for Peacemaker season 2.
So is Rick Flag Sr. going to be in Peacemaker 2?
Yeah, he's going to be a big part.
Wow.
He's in Superman and he's in Peacemaker season 2. Yeah,
which is like I was saying, like the connectivity is super exciting because you get invested in this and you can't help but look to the future and be like, man, I'm so there day one. Like I'm pumped with this because this was an awesome first episode. So yeah, Waller, she's like, how can we get around this? Let's use monsters. And the brilliance of the show obviously is going to come with, they're monsters, but they're human inside, and we're going to explore them and feel
that's what happens with James Gunn, isn't it?
Yeah.
He gets you to fall in love with these characters that are not human at all, and yet you somehow empathize or connect with them. Yeah,
absolutely. So we get sort of the setup there. We know what's canon. Not really missing a beat in terms of that. Like JG was saying, like they're coming out the gate swinging, man. They're like, the woke mob, and what JG said was funny. He's like, what do they really want to do?
Exactly. Like, why do you really want to go to Themyscira ruled by women? Why do you guys really want to go there?
Yeah,
and conquer it. I know what you want to conquer.
So I thought that was hilarious. Like you already know what the line of thinking is. And so they're sent on a mission, and we get a nice little introduction to every member of the team. And I think just based off of this first episode alone, everyone is like perfectly cast. I think a standout is Frank Grillo as Rick Flag Sr. It's central to him, I would say.
I love Frank Grillo. He's I've loved him ever since I saw him in The Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
I've been a fan of his. He's great. And apparently he's a massive Superman fan, like huge.
Oh, bro. I was like, I had respect for you, Grillo, but now he was like, Superman's the GOAT, and far, far away is Batman. I'm like, yo, okay,
Yeah.
I see you. I love his enthusiasm. It's like it's just like it's apparent, and you're like you getting pumped. Just him describing David Corenswet, I'm like, yeah, bro, give me this trailer now. Like it's awesome. So I think Frank Grillo is a standout, and I think Alan Tudyk as Dr. Phosphorus is absolutely a standout. I think his power set in the animation is displayed. It's very cool. And Alan Tudyk he's a jack of all trades, man. He's anything you put him in, he's good. We know he's gonna be voicing Clayface. I don't know what episode that is, but you know we're gonna get him as Clayface, and like you guys were saying, that fight was dope. That fight. I think the animation, it's a little Invincible. It's definitely Harley Quinn esque to me, and that makes sense because we have the creator behind this working on Creature Commandos. Like it's a healthy mix between James Gunn and that just Harley Quinn vibe. So I really appreciate that about it. And one of my problems with not the Tomorrowverse, but the universe previously, the DC animated movies, was that the animation was like too stiff. With this, it's it has the right balance of staying still, lingering on moments, but also when it comes to the action scenes, it's fluid, and they move around freely. So I think that's awesome. Let's see what else before we get into episode 2. The chemistry between Rick Flag Sr. and the princess is there.
Oh, you know what's going on with that.
We've heard funny stories from James Gunn about what's on the horizon with that. And so it's going to be very interesting. It's definitely TVMA.
Also, one other thing about that I noticed, which I found out about the map.
God, anybody but this guy coming in. Oh my god.
Map at the beginning of the
real quick before you speak, James. Nerdman, if you've seen the first episode and you're ready to go into episode 2, I'll send you the link. Otherwise, I think I'm gonna hold off just because we have a very
we're vibing here, man.
We have a very steady flow going on here.
Yes.
If you've seen the first episode and you're ready to dive into episode 2, just tell me. I'll send the link, because I really don't want you to go into episode 2 without seeing episode 1 and stuff. Yes. So, but James, go right ahead.
Yeah, there's a place called Pokolistan, right? And somebody's on Twitter has looked it up, and the history of that is that during the Lex Luthor administration, Pokolistan has had a secret deal with President Lex Luthor. And we heard that Superman's got to take on some like Middle Eastern dictator in the Superman.
Right.
So I'm wondering if that's a subtle Easter egg for that.
It's funny that you say that, because when I saw like the power suits that they were wearing in the castle, I was like, wait a second. Do you think? So very good point.
Don't they? Yeah.
Yeah, you're ready, Nerdman? All right. I will send you the link. Very interested to hear your thoughts on this.
There was something else that just popped in my head and I just lost it that quick. I need my coffee, man.
Yeah.
It's one of the things I'm really looking forward to in these things is all the Easter eggs. Because I know DC Comics, and I've been reading them for like 40 years, and I know all these little things, and now I'm able to actually look for them in shows, which is really fun. And
knowing that they're gonna lead somewhere.
Yeah,
it's fantastic. Like payoff is it's gonna happen a little more here. There's a little more promise in this universe, which is very nice. So let's see. I'm just scrolling through the episode, make sure I'm not missing anything I want to say on this. The Zac Efron thing was hilarious.
Yes, oh my God.
Hilarious. Like no one was expecting that. Like we have everything in animation, and then you just get that one live action image, and it takes you out in the best way possible. I thought that was fantastic.
Yeah, it's totally out of context. You're not expecting it at all.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. And we've heard fantastic things about David Harbour
Oh,
as Frankenstein. I'm really, really excited to see what he brings to this show.
to see
Because
him.
Frank Grillo is like hyping mans up. David Harbour is incredibly talented, and like JG was saying, there is obviously possibilities for these characters to cross over into live action. We're already getting Rick Flag Sr. and just the idea of seeing these animated characters in live action, practical effects for some most likely. It's exciting. It's really, really exciting. And last thing I'll say before I bring on Nerdman is that it's obviously very Suicide Squad-esque, but there's obviously a spin to it. It's a heightened Suicide Squad. It's like Suicide Squad dialed up to 11 because you have these incredibly fantastical characters. And what I've been asking for years upon years is fantastical to be embraced in the DC universe. I want to see my Clay Monster Clayface. I want to see these things, and I'm finally getting it. And
yeah,
it's the best feeling.
Yeah, Clayface is such an interesting character as well. He's got it's a tragedy, really. It's a tragic story, and it's a good character arc. And if you can do that properly, especially in live action, it'd be unbelievable. So I'm pumped for that movie whenever that gets made. So
yeah, Mike Flanagan behind it is pretty cool. But Nerdman, welcome to the stream. How we doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. How are you guys doing?
We
Happy
finished
DC
watching.
Day, yeah?
I was doing great before you open your mouth.
The beef has started. The beef has started.
I didn't even start any beef. I didn't even start any beef.
I know.
This is what it's like, James.
I'm
Welcome
preparing
to
for it.
Wise community. This is what it's like. Nerdman, what have you've seen episode 1, or so you claim? What'd you think?
I'll hold off my opinions until I've seen this next episode. Have you got the link?
Yeah, so I guess we said everything we need
Because
to say.
you've got a vibe going, as you said. Yeah, I'll hold off my.
Sure, that'll work.
Yeah.
So we will start up episode 2 right now. I'll send the link.
Oh, is it
Hi,
a new link?
JP.
Yeah, it's a new link.
JP? Another JP?
There's only one JP, buddy.
Just call me James.
Okay. Oh, okay. Sorry, because I was like, I'm John Paul, so and he's John, so I thought it was another John Paul. But anyway, go on, carry on.
The reason why I'm starting a new Google Meet is because these things expire after an hour, and
I was in a Google Meet.
It would kick us out, which I'm like, no thanks, I'm good. So I'm gonna send this in the private chat. So feel free to join, and also mute the Google Meet mic, because otherwise there'll be an echo.
Yeah.
If you've got headphones in, it should be fine, right?
Yeah, I have headphones.
Yeah.
Next episode.
I've got that theme tune in my head already. I'm going to hum that song over and over again today, I think.
Which theme? The theme song intro?
Yeah. I mean, there is an official, James Gunn has created an official playlist for the show, so it's on Spotify.
Oh yeah, he did. You're right. Yeah.
You got to follow.
I'll say one that
he's created hundreds of playlists. He does one every year. He creates his best of year playlist, but he always has to take out songs that he's got in his projects because he doesn't want people to know about them. Because obviously he listens to them a lot. Yeah.
I was going to say, I'll say one thing about the first episode. I'm very interested in like the Themyscira connection. You know, I'm a huge Wonder Woman guy. I want like, you know, Shazamily back and Wonder Woman and all of these characters, but I know it's
Yes.
going to take
Yeah.
time, unfortunately. But
I think
we'll see
we've
if
got
that happens. But I'll yeah, go on.
no, we've got the show, haven't we? That they're going to create. What's it called again? The one the show from the mascara.
Oh, Paradise Lost.
Themyscira,
Oh, it's Lost. Yeah,
Paradise
we're going to
Lost.
have that. And that's going to, they're sort of like a Game of Thrones vibe with that show, which would be really interesting. So,
Mhm.
but
We'll see.
yeah, I'm up for that as well. I want more of that for sure. Wonder Woman's great.
Yeah, speaking to Nerdman said Shazam, and I immediately went, yeah, I need Shazam. I
Yes,
just
yes.
rewatched Shazam because we're getting to the Christmas season here, and I'm like, yeah, I can't have a DCU without Shazam. I need Shazam, whether it's animated, live action. I need Shazam.
I'd love to see an animated Shazam. I think that would work well, actually.
That'd be fun. I think that'd be really fun.
Yeah.
Me too. Me three.
Are you in the Google Meet, Nerdman?
I think so. Asked to join. All right. Got you.
All right, let me admit you. All right, episode 2. Here we go.
Love.
Oh, I love it every time.
I tell you, I will never get tired of that intro. Never.
I like the other intro more.
I can respect it. I can respect
No,
it.
it's not. I
but-
like it more. I just don't like the fact it's just Superman. They could have done.
I love this so much.
I was not expecting that. Oh my god.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Weasel's face, bro.
This.
The sounds, bro. Oh my god. Oh, I'm dead, bro.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness.
I'm crying.
Holy shit. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that doesn't happen to Cersei.
Whoa.
Oh,
Oh, whoa, whoa.
no! Oh,
Oh,
that is next level
I
messed
was
up.
not expecting that.
Oh man.
why does Cersei have like an English accent?
All right. So that was the trailer for promo for episode 3 coming next week.
Yeah.
Let me go ahead and stop this stopwatch. We'll go ahead and talk about it. So, Nerdman, we could start with you. I'm very curious on what you thought about the first episode. And then going into this episode, how has your opinion changed? Are you vibing with this as the start of the DCU? I'm very curious.
See, I take it you all enjoy it, right? And you all think it's great, right?
Very much so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I come from a place where I'm like, I've always enjoyed about DC that it has like these different vibes and tones. You know, depending on the character, depending on, you know, like, yeah, basically depending on the world or of the characters or the character that it's depicting. And so for me, this tone is all right. The story is not, I mean, the story is actually not bad. My whole thing is the whole James Gunniness of it all. And I think I like it a little bit more than the Suicide Squad, definitely. Or Peacemaker, for instance. I like this a little bit more, but like, I'm looking forward to hopefully, if, you know, I'm still kind of optimistic about James Gunn, that he's wise enough to know that this tone isn't suitable for the entirety of DC. Even, I wouldn't even say like it should be like 10% of what DC should be like. This is fine on its own, in its own little corner and in their little world, but I would be terrified as a huge, you know how much of a huge DC fan I am.
Absolutely.
Right? And how much I've read, and I'm not like just coming at this as like some kind of fucking hater or whatever.
Absolutely.
This isn't my like thing. That doesn't mean I've given up on James Gunn or I'm, you know, like I'm not excited for the Superman or anything like that. It's just I like it in its own like kind of thing, almost like a cartoon that is not connected to the DC. Almost like I don't know. It's kind of like weird to say that, but like, you know, I don't like Cersei sitting around drinking beers and burping and doing shit.
I
like
knew that would get you. I
That-
immediately thought of you when I saw that. I was like, oh.
yeah, like it's fine though to do it in this context. Like if I saw that in the Harley Quinn show, I wouldn't mind. So I'm gonna give this the benefit of the doubt. Except like the Harley Quinn show is a little bit more disconnected. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
but like that's not the Cersei of powerful sorceress Wonder Woman. Basically, she's never been my favorite Wonder Woman villain, but like she's pretty much her third in, you know, like in terms of power levels and how she can take on Wonder Woman. But anyway, besides that, yeah, like again, as a little thing on its own, it's fine. I just don't want this to be like the tone of the DC, the majority of DC. I'm hoping he can mix enough, you know, different kind of styles and whatever to, you know, to be like, oh, the people who like Suicide Squad and Peacemaker, here's something for you, and then here's something for the other people who like more other kind of things.
Yeah,
that's what I'm hoping.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that it's very valid in terms of this being.
Let's see, was fix your mic.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was saying fix your mic. You was kind of sound like you were far away for a second.
Oh, how you hear me?
Yeah, better.
Okay. I understand your point, Nerdman, in terms of this, like you almost thinking of this as like an isolated cartoon that can play in the sandbox of the DCU, but you don't want this to be the entire tone of the DCU, which I think is fair. James Gunn humor is a very acquired taste, to say the least.
Yeah.
And I get it. I get, like I said, when Cersei was like burping and, you know, eating like a pig, I was like, yeah, okay, this is very very over the top comical, and I think it works for an animated show. I think you're supposed to have the most fun you can, but what you don't want to see is that type of energy fully committed in live action. Like you don't want to see Cersei doing that in a live action Wonder Woman movie, which I do get. You want it to be, you know, treat these characters with the you know, respect as much as you can in live action. I get it. I totally get it.
And also, I just to do, like, I'll let everyone else speak about this. I don't know. I loved her accent. I didn't expect that as her accent. It was a weird depiction of Cersei in general. I like the fact that she eventually did away with this, you know, like the Frankenstein woman, because I was like, come on, like Cersei, this like she regularly fights Wonder Woman. This doesn't make any sense that this person is having any kind of thing. But like, I was just wondering, like, what are the accents of the Themyscirans going to be, and because that's a weird choice, you know. Like, I don't mind the whole like, oh, like having them as just having like this very royal English accent kind of thing, but it was a weird take on that, even that bit, that kind of thing. But anyway, we'll see as it goes along. But yeah,
I think that's valid. I think we're looking at this project a little more closely than anything else, because it is going to be indicative of, you know, DCU Wonder Woman. It's going to be indicative of what we're going to see in Superman, which I think that Superman trailer, I'm super excited for it, and it's super important because it's going to really give us a taste of the theatrical side and what largely we're starting with this universe. You know, James Gunn has said that things are going to be stylistically different. We're going to go all over the place, so we'll see how that works out. But I definitely understand your criticisms. I don't think they're too far off at all. I think we can all agree that the best scene of this episode was Rick Flag Sr. in the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
I
You
was
guys were
laughing
cracking up at that.
hysterically. You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of you know, in Kick-Ass, one of my favorite comic book movies, when Frank
It's
D'Amico
a good
goes
movie.
into the car and he's talking.
That one, yeah.
He was talking with you know, to his driver, and he's like, "Yeah, we're headed to the movies. Get me a cherry icy, get me some Twizzlers." And in the background, you hear, oh my god!" Like, it is muffled. That's exactly the vibe I got with this. You just hear, and I was dying. It was hysterical. It was the funniest moment of the show so
It really
far.
was funny, yeah, and it's like it's not kind of juvenile humor, but it's still funny. No, it's like,
And I think it works for a cartoon more than it would work in
oh
live
yeah,
action. I
absolutely,
think
yeah,
you can just
definitely, yeah.
like animation just naturally is more heightened, so you can get away with a lot more goofier stuff. But then we'll see in live action.
I thought the to be honest, like I don't know, my eyes were rolling during this scene, but I did find one thing funny, which was the what's the guy, the phosphorus guy.
Yeah.
When he goes, when he's talking about smiling, and he's like, "You don't know I'm smiling. I'm a skeleton. Like I look like I'm smiling all the time." And he goes, "Oh well, are you smiling?" And he goes, "Yeah." I thought that was pretty funny.
Like, yeah, but you don't know that.
I think it's pretty clever.
No, that was quite funny.
Who is the standout character for you guys throughout these 2 episodes? Who are you loving, and who do you want to see more of?
Oh man, that's tough.
Yeah, that is a tough one. That is a tough one.
Yeah, go on.
I mean, I'm curious about Rick Flag's backstory and where he's going to be going in the DCU, because we know he's in Superman, he's in Peacemaker season 2. So I'm interested as to where his story goes. But I am fascinated by the bride. Hearing her story in this episode was really interesting, and kind of how they're unpacking that legend. Like, it's not just a DC thing, Frankenstein. So that's interesting. But I also I'm very interested to hear about what's his name, GI Robot. Like, just because of the history, like, you know, obviously he fought in World War II. You know, we've got a Sergeant Rock movie potentially. Like, obviously, like the DCU is like they're making out like it's been around for like decades. So there's opportunities to make things that are set in different time periods, right? So I'm interested to see his story and how that all fits in. And I love Dr. Phosphorus. I wasn't expecting to like Dr. Phosphorus, but he's fun. Like, and the guy that plays him, what's his? I've forgotten.
Alan Tudyk.
Alan Tudyk. Yeah,
he's great. So yeah, I mean, I'm just intrigued to see where the whole thing goes, what the story is. You know, because these characters are relatively new to me, so I'm curious to see, and I'm also interested to see the rumored Easter eggs and certain characters popping up in different places. So
yeah, I wish people hadn't been capping so hard for like this Frankenstein lady, because I was thinking, oh man, like she is cool. Don't get me wrong, like she's cool in a kind of like, oh, she can kick ass and whatever, but like and the tragic backstory. Why are you laughing? Oh, at
laughing at Tony. What Tony said.
Oh, okay.
Like, what
I thought it was something like, what did I do? I didn't say anything.
Switzerland over here, man. I'm cool. I'm okay. Go ahead.
See, you're always trying to beef with me, so I'm paranoid.
I didn't even say anything. You don't want
to. Yeah, no.
Hey, Basco, what's going on?
Yeah, people were capping hard for her online. That's all I'm saying. And I don't know I've fallen in love with any of these characters yet. Like, it remains to be seen. I haven't like really like. my eye is so hard on this, what it tells me about the rest of the DC universe, what I want to know about. Do you know what I mean? Like any character, if it's a Green Lantern character or a Superman character or anything like that connected. One of the things I really liked actually was them using the Sons of Themyscira, which is a kind of weird, like, I don't, again, it's a deep cut, but it's like from this Wonder Woman Earth 1 Volume 3. Again, super nerdy. I'll tell you about it. Well, okay, just quickly. The Sons of Themyscira were like this kind of cult of like guys who basically, like, how would you call it? Like, you know, the anti-social justice warriors or whatever, all of those guys.
I know
those guys.
Well, like, yeah. No, go on.
So they were in that, and I was kind of curious and interested to see that, because at least it means like they're reading that kind of material, which is cool.
All these scripts are from Gunn, so he is responsible for that.
Okay.
I think to start off the DCU, to start off with that, to piss off certain people, it's going to be interesting what the reception is. We already know the ratings for the show are super high. Viewership wise, we're gonna have to see. But yeah, I definitely understand where you're coming from, Nerd Man. Let's see, what do I want to talk about?
To answer that last question real quick, it's kind of tough who I would like to see more of, right? Because I think I'm more intrigued by some characters, like Dr. Phosphorus, like, and it's not so much I like him, it's just his line deliveries at the right times, right? They're so funny. If anybody I'm very intrigued by, it's probably the fish bowl head girl, whatever her name is.
Nina,
yeah, like you saw her
because you're attracted to that kind of thing.
Shut your face. No, what I'm saying is, like, episode 1, she was so kind of sweet, she had this innocence about her. Then at the end of episode 2, you see her tell the bride go fuck herself, right? Funny. I was not expecting that to come out of her mouth, because she'd been so kind of sweet this whole time. I'm curious about, like, what got her where she is. Rick Flag Sr., right? Where the image I get of him is he's a guy who kind of dedicated his life to service, and probably his son following his footsteps, maybe thinking he can get close to his dad. And with his death, is Rick Flag Sr. regretful or remorseful that he didn't spend that time with the son that he probably could have? Right. That's kind of the thing I'm getting with him. And I agree with you, Nerd Man, where I hope this is in the same tone for all of DC. It works for this. But I have a feeling.
To be fair, I don't think it will be. I'm just saying. I'm more. I don't think it will be, in the sense that I don't think Gunn is going to try and do that. I'm just concerned that he can't help himself. When you're a writer. No, it's true. When you're a writer, you just have a vibe about how you write, like, and it's really hard to break that kind of habit, I think. Yeah. Even if you're trying. Even if you're trying, you know.
Ben's kind of said, like, multiple times that every project in DC will have its own tone.
Sure, but when he's writing them, right? Like when he's writing them or directing them or doing anything like that, my concern is, like, say for instance, think of a James Gunn film without any humor in it. Like, so you take away all the humor from Guardians of the Galaxy or something like that. It's like, I would prefer, this is a weird contradiction. This actually contradicts what I was saying before. But I would prefer James Gunn to make his Superman movie, how he sees Superman, rather than kowtow to worrying about what we, you know, as Superman fans want, and like trying to make the Superman movie he thinks that we want. You know,
Well,
but then again, he wouldn't be my first pick to do Superman. So, you know, but go on.
I think he's got a reverence for Superman and the history of the character. I don't think he wants an excuse to just do something silly in every movie that he does. I think, I think he just loves the character. I think he wants to be faithful. And just
I'm not saying he doesn't.
I know you're not. I mean, I know him. I don't think he'd try and water down who he is in what he does.
I hope not.
But I think, I know. I get the concerns though. Like, I don't think he's gonna.
All I'm worried about is that we're gonna get a film where James Gunn is trying to write against type, right? And you know, like, I don't want to make all the jokes here, but it's like maybe I don't know. Like, I'm just trying to think Guardians of the Galaxy without all the jokes. Is it actually a good movie?
Well, I didn't really think Guardians was all that funny to me. But what I'm thinking is going to happen is this is what have its tone, right? But when they start getting implemented character by character into live action, where'd everybody go? Okay, I'm looking at the movies. My bad. When everybody gets more into live action, it be kind of toned down a little bit, right? Where they would still have some semblance of their cartoon humor, but not as like overbearing, right? Where you saw Guardians of the Galaxy movies where it's, I guess you could say, heavy humor, but when they're implemented into
the emotional moments,
but when they got into the Infinity Gauntlet, you still had it, but it wasn't as much, right? And they
sure, but that wasn't James Gunn, right? That wasn't James Gunn.
You cut me off one more time. I swear to God, you cut me off one more time.
I was interjecting on the.
I think he understands. Like Superman, there has to be an element of not comedy. I'm not talking about comedy. I'm talking about like comic book humor. Superman is not like Batman, right? He's not like dark and gritty and serious all the time. There isn't. I mean, like Superman 78 has a degree of humor in it, right? But it's an appropriate level of humor. It's not comedy, right? It's not comedy. It's just comic book humor. Like, you know, that's what I would call it, which you see a lot in the MCU. Like, I mean, like Winter Soldier still has like comic book humor in it, even though it's quite a serious movie, right? So I think I don't think it's going to be like, I think there'll be humor in Superman. Like Superman's got a dry sense of humor. That's, you know, and
I don't think it's dry. I think, you know, carry on. I'll say what I think it is after.
But I think he's going to bring up. I'm not worried that he'll compromise or hold back, or when he's writing Superman or directing Superman. I just think he does it differently because it's a different kind of character. I think it just depends. I think he has a little thing for like characters that people don't know about and characters that are kind of on the fringes and stuff like that. That's what he likes to do. But I think he can do the big characters as well. Like, and so, I mean, Superman's probably his biggest test as a director. I mean, it is, isn't it? It's like the biggest movie he's ever done.
It's the biggest, yeah. I was going to say that he has a Superman 78, and Superman as a character has a more whimsical form of humor involved in it. But
I think we agree.
Well, it was 78, so I mean, it was a different time, right? So
yeah, but the humor, I just love that when he gets the bit where he gets hit by a crowbar.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Bad vibrations. Yeah.
I love that.
I
think we're
humor to a T, right? You know, like the elevator thing going down, kind of all that.
I think we're all on board for, like, I mean, Christopher Reeve's Superman is everything. Like, I think that movie was so influential to pop culture that they started drawing him like Christopher Reeve in the comics. The Clark Kent persona, started going into the comic books even more because of that film. And I think that tone is exactly right. It's gonna have moments of levity, but I think it's gonna be where Gunn knows it should be. I think the Daily Planet workplace is gonna be the prime example of that. I think like we've seen in set videos, David Corenswet is like stumbling around like Christopher Reeve, and I find it incredibly endearing and fun because they're going back to, I think, the essence of Superman. What everyone responds to Superman with is the heart, it's the purity, it's the fun.
And that's why I think
it can't have the cynicism that is so prevalent in like Deadpool and this kind of thing. There's got to be a level of sincerity to a Superman film, right?
Well, I think you'll have it. I think certain characters will have that kind of comical, like Jimmy Olsen.
Yeah,
him. He's always comical, so I think he'll be that kind of comical.
Perry White is going to be, comical.
When he goes off or something like that, it's going to be funny.
I think Daily Planet is going to be like the family place, the place where you have family in that movie, where you have, and that's where you'll have the comedy, right? Like the banter between all the people at the Daily Planet, right? Not comedy, but just like banter, humor, kind of. What you get between the Guardians, that kind of humor, obviously not the same, but
right, yeah.
But James Gunn's really good at doing stuff with heart. Like, he's everything he does has heart.
That's what I focus. I focus more on that than the jokes. Like, I think James Gunn is the most emotional comic book movie director, and he's the one that gets the most reaction out of me. I'm so
really.
Yes, I'm telling. Like Sam Raimi. Sam Raimi was
that's
the first
crazy.
Or actually, no. I think it'd be Donner.
I think he's one of them, but like to say the most, wow, that's
to me personally though. I like every film sure. I tear up, and I really do get emotional because I think there's a genuine and like authenticity to it, and that's why I'm so happy that he's handling Superman, because I think he's going to like his comments. I love what he's saying. I think he's saying exactly what I want to hear in terms of, he's going to go back to the Silver Age. He's going to explore the sci-fi aspects. His second favorite comic book movie of all time is Superman the movie.
I don't believe that.
You don't?
No, I don't. I think that's just some PR bullshit.
If it was his number one, I'd be like, interesting. But
Spider-Verse is number one. Like, but no, he said it on a podcast as well, not like with Rosenbaum. I remember he said it before he did that little thing where he did his top 5. He was on.
If you can find me him saying that before he ever got on the Superman project, I'll believe it.
Okay.
I'm not. Look, dude. Everyone does that. Everyone does that. I don't believe for a second Zack Snyder thought like Superman was great, like at all. Like looking at how he makes films and whatever, there's no part of me that believes that Zack Snyder, because he came out afterwards after a while and said, oh yeah, Superman's always been like this pillar in my it's like no
contradicts previous comments. Yeah.
I mean, he talks about how he went to the same cinema as Jim Lee went to see it at. And they lived in the same town when they were growing up.
I personally believe
sure, but everyone went to see Superman.
I personally believe him because I think the movie is just so influential, and it's like the purest comic book movie that I think.
Have you heard his comments on Batman Returns and Batman '89?
No, I've never heard him talk about that.
Is that like the Instagram post thing where he's like, I hate him or something like that?
Yeah.
Really? Yeah. He said that, did he? Interesting. Well, I don't particularly like Batman Returns, to be honest.
I prefer Batman Returns, so yeah.
Batman '89, I love Batman '89, but Batman Returns, wasn't my favorite. It's not really.
Were you one of those kids who made it so that we didn't get a trilogy?
Me?
What are you complaining about?
See Batman.
I was like, where are you going with this?
I went to see Batman 89 at the cinema when I was 12 years old when it came out. And I went
And
to
you
see
were
Batman.
scared by it.
No, I loved it. I absolutely
The allegation's crazy.
I think it's great. I love Batman 89. I think it's fantastic.
Hmm.
Oh no, I thought I was talking about Returns. I was talking about
Returns. I went to see Returns and I liked it. You know, it was Batman, but it wasn't.
Oh, I get it now.
It wasn't like the Batman that I'd read in the comics. Like, I've been reading Batman Year One and like Death in the Family and all of that. Like, and it was more like a Tim Burton movie than a Batman movie in a way. And I wasn't one of those haters though. I mean, I like it. I don't think it's a bad movie, but it's not as much of a Batman movie as a Tim Burton movie, if that makes sense. Like,
but do you know what? I kind of like that. I you know, like just talking about that quickly.
Like, yeah.
No, but I think Tim Burton's style kind of matches like that world anyway, in a sense. But in a sense, I think every great Superman or Batman or whatever, you know, even like Shazam comic is like or story is more the writer's world or the writer, you know, like how you said it's a Tim Burton movie, or it's a, like you could say the same for Frank Miller or something, you know, like it's more of a Frank Miller story than a Batman story, right? Like I think that people use that as a critique, and I'm not sure if that's relevant. There are some things that I would have preferred, like if Batman didn't kill and stuff like that. That would have been great. You know, if Joker wasn't the one who killed his, you know, parents and stuff.
Yeah, that's why didn't.
Even as a kid, I was like, "Oh, that's a bit too pat." Like, even like when I first saw it, and I hadn't even read a Batman comic, I was like, "The Joker really killed his parents? That's kind of lame." But generally speaking,
it was not script. I don't think it was. I think Burton put that in after that behind the scenes thing. But I did not like Batman and Robin at all. I was like,
I've seen that movie once.
I don't think anyone does.
I love the Dark Knight trilogy. That's my favorite. That's the Batman, but
that's more of a Nolan movie, like than a fucking Batman story.
Yeah, I'm a Christopher Nolan fanboy, so you know, I'm a Batman fan and a Christopher Nolan fan. I'm like a complete Nolan cultist, you could call me. I watch everything he makes, no matter what it is. Doesn't matter what it is.
That's good taste, man.
Yeah,
I love the Oppenheimer.
Oh,
masterpiece.
That is. Oh, I saw that 3 times in IMAX. Oh, it's so good, so good. Yeah, just one of the best movies ever.
Yeah,
so
we should probably back on. Go.
I'm interested to see what his next movie is, because the cast he's put together is pretty awesome. So
Tom Holland getting some work. Yeah, it's very interesting.
God, Tom Holland.
Yeah,
I was gonna say I hope I haven't taken us off topic, but if you don't mind talking.
No, it's all right. It's all right.
Well, one thing for sure, this show is not for kids. I will say that.
Yeah, I kind of feel like if I was the kid, I was like, oh, new DC, like, you know, I would have to be like childhood like, watching when I'm not supposed to. Like,
dude, I was watching shit way worse than this when I was like, kid, man.
That explains a lot, bro. Say less. I will say where it gets very risky outside of that hilarious bathroom sequence is Victor, the doctor, you know, and the bride.
Yeah,
like, that was very weird. Like very uncomfortable, very like you made this creation, and now you're like, yeah, you know, it's weird.
Yeah, you knew her as basically as a child, and now you're like, I see. Again, I'm not gonna say anything. Again, I am not a James Gunn hater. I like Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I think that's the only movie of his I like. I'm not sure. I'm trying to think back now. I think Guardians 1 and 2 are alright. There's aspects of them I like. But he's just not the first that comes to mind when it comes to like, and this is maybe my second favorite thing of his that I've seen just from these 2 episodes. But it doesn't do anything. It doesn't move the needle for me either way. I just think this is obviously like, oh, I'm head of DC now. I can do anything I fucking want. And so I'm just going to make this bonkers thing that I've always wanted to make about DC. So it kind of, tracks in that sense.
He'd written it before.
And it's all right.
Before he got put in charge of DC, I think.
Yeah.
Did he?
And then green light
this was old regime leftover. And then he decided to green light it when he became the head of DC.
Because you would.
Right.
Like, you would if it were you. Right. So, but also he's a good writer. Like, so it's okay. Like,
I mean, he justifies it. You look at that Rotten Tomatoes score, you're like, yeah, I mean,
yeah,
you know,
Rotten
anything that
Tomatoes loves James Gunn.
I know people who do not like his stylings are like.
I mean, I didn't know. The first thing I saw of his was Guardians of the Galaxy. I hadn't heard of him before that. And yeah, like, if you told me when I saw Guardians of the Galaxy 1 that he'd be doing Superman, I wouldn't have believed it at the time. But yeah, here we are.
And I think, like we've been saying, that's going to be the true test, because his comments, like we were talking about the tone and the balance, which I think he will have. I think Clark Kent is going to be very comedic and very endearing.
It's going to be good.
Yeah, and his Superman is going to be. I think his Superman's going to be brilliant. I think, Frank Grillo was talking about how Christopher Reeve he is, and I think that's what we need for the character. That's what people miss about this character. That's what I miss about the character. And so, you have your comments like bad vibrations or is something wrong with the elevator? I'm like, that's
also,
my
I
goal,
just like
bro.
David
Like,
Corenswet as a
go
guy.
off, King. Like, I love it so much. And it's going to be interesting because it is going to be very different. I think it is going to be very different from anything else he's done, because the comments he's making is like, you're going to have this family-friendly movie, but it's also, and this is his words, it's going to be relatively serious. So, his sensibilities might change.
Yeah. Superman 78 was relatively serious, but it was also family friendly, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
It wasn't relative. How is it relatively serious, though? I don't. You think?
Well, it takes the situation seriously.
In that verisimilitude, like it's,
Right,
it's kind of
yes.
its own sense of reality. It's not a comedy.
I love it, but I think after he comes out of the Fortress of Solitude, like after the first 15 minutes, it really does kind of turn into like a little bit of a romantic comedy, which I like. I'm nothing against it, but like, I like it. I don't know that it fits what people are looking for now.
Well, I don't think
I'm always curious to see. Like, my theory a long time ago was like, oh, if you made Superman 78 with like a modern CGI budget, it would just be like one of the, everyone would love it. But now I look at kids these days and I'm like, well, maybe they wouldn't. I don't know.
I asked myself that same question. I'm like, how? I think if the plot could be very interesting and relevant. If the rumors are true about us having these very corporate heroes that are not really in it for the right reasons, and then here comes Superman, who's going to change it all.
I'm very fascinated with it. I think it's like a
I think that could hit really, really well, and be a meta commentary about today's comic book content and how Superman stands alone.
Yeah, there's so much commentary you can read into it. There's commentary on the MCU, on what superhero movies have become.
Yeah,
there's commentary on, I don't know what being a hero is, just generally.
Right, reluctant heroes in the MCU. He's spoken about how he's looking for the secret identities and the classic
Yeah,
the hero, right?
and commentary.
Is Lex gonna be the villain?
That's what he says.
He
And
keeps
his
saying
comments.
Lex is the main villain, like he's the central villain, and apparently he's very he's quite scary, like,
Intimidating, yeah.
he was like saying like
Dude.
super. That's what he was saying, like in the interview today.
Dude,
Like,
it was
I got
music
excited.
to my. Yeah, go on.
No, I just said I got excited by his comments on that.
It was music to my ears when the actor who played him said he's playing him. What's his name?
Nicholas
Hoult. Nicholas Hoult. He said he's taken inspiration from Lex Luthor, Man of Steel.
Yeah.
Have you read that comic? Have you read that comic?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is a
If there's any place to pull from, yeah, I'm sold.
I mean, that's a badass Lex, you know.
Yeah, he's badass. He really is.
And we haven't really seen much of him. We've seen maybe one set photo of him. He's scarred.
No, I think that's deliberate as well. I think that's
and so I'm really excited because
we're not being shown about Lex in this movie.
Yeah, like the scientist aspects and the sci-fi. I think we've been largely largely hidden from us.
I think if they do if they do a trilogy, you'll end up with Lex in the power suit at some point.
I hope so. I want to see that bad.
I just need Brainiac. I need Brainiac yesterday.
That has to be the sequel. Like, I'm not accepting anything else for the second movie if they do one. It's got to look like fans are desperate for Brainiac. Like, I'm desperate for Brainiac.
Yeah, it's long overdue. He's the second. He's not even the second. He's the best Superman villain. Lex is great. This is a hot take, because on Hot Takes Tuesdays, right?
That's right.
Lex is great, and I think he's so underrated as a villain, Lex Luthor.
Yes.
It's weird, even though he's like the second biggest villain in DC, he's like so underrated. Like, he is just as good as the Joker.
I've never seen
the Joker. We've never seen it done in film. Yeah.
Not in film. I mean, like in Smallville, that Lex was scary, right? Rosenbaum was so good. But we've not seen that in the movies, and you're right. But I get what you're saying about Brainiac. Like, yeah, I mean, I'm dying for a post-credit scene of something at LexCorp, like a big computer, and all the lights go off in the room, but the computer comes on by itself, and it's the 3 dots.
That's what I need. I need that at the end of the movie.
What's that? Like, and then it's cut to the end. Like, that's it.
Like, I can see why they didn't go with Brainiac for the first movie because of Man of Steel, and I've always said like Man of Steel should have had Brainiac as the villain. It would have been a way better movie, and you could have actually killed Brainiac. Like, even it would still be technically breaking his rule, but if they made him more machine than living thing, then Brainiac kind of getting his neck snapped, it still wouldn't have been great, but like at least it would have been like, it was a machine. Superman broke a machine basically, as opposed to like a living person. Yeah. I know it's clearly no one else agrees with me due to the silence, but
I think it'd be interesting. I mean,
generally, but yeah, I mean, I really want to see that in the sequel. Definitely, I want to see Brainiac.
No, but what I was saying is that the scenarios are too similar, right? Like, coming in, like,
yeah. Well, you're right about that. That would have made more sense in that movie, in Man of Steel, to have Brainiac. Yeah.
I think you're right that Brainiac is long overdue. I mean, before James Gunn took over DC, the idea, the pitch from the Peaky Blinders guy was to write a script with Henry Cavill facing off against Brainiac. Like, we were so close, and it's always that way for us Superman fans. It's like, we're so close to Brainiac, and then it gets snatched away from us.
Yeah, like I think if Superman Returns had got a sequel, it would have been with Brainiac.
Yep.
Right.
That was the, isn't it? Like, so
and
yeah.
kind of dope, actually. I listened to the breakdown of what that film was supposed to be. It was
Yeah,
actually
I did too. Yeah, like
kind
was
of
like,
dope.
Everything with the sun
so
too. It would have
bad.
been a little more hardcore.
An
Mhm.
intergalactic Superman movie, like where he's fighting Brainiac. Oh,
No, literally, I need cosmic Superman. I need Superman like up
I'm
in the
sure
sky to be
that's
fighting in
the-
intergalactic space rings. I wanna embrace that.
if
When
Gunn's
is that
doing
coming?
the sci-fi Superman, we're gonna get that at some point. I'm
I'm
sure.
excited. I'm
I just think Brainiac is more of one. He's obviously more of a challenge for Superman, but he's a challenge for him on all levels. Just in the way Joker is a challenge for Batman on all levels.
Also,
That's
I think
the
there's
same with Brainiac, and that's why I say he's in theory he's a better villain. I don't know if he's been written over time. He's had some dope comics, but like
Mhm.
I don't know if he's been written as well as Lex Luthor has. Like you've never had
And
like
also-
like a Lex Luthor Man of Steel version with Brainiac, for instance. But
Brainiac is a character that's
yeah.
waiting for a really elite actor to absolutely define him for a generation.
Yes.
Yeah.
We talked about this in our little group, like
And-
Benedict Cumberbatch as Brainiac would be flipping.
No,
No.
Yeah.
absolutely not.
Really? Okay.
No.
All right. Who would you get?
Who would you pick then?
If you have any.
Obviously Forrest Whitaker. No, I'm joking.
That's an inside.
Oh man, vintage nerd man.
I could play him, but like, yeah. But who would you pick?
That's a hard one. It's really, the Skarsgård brother. Not there was one who was gonna. They said they wanted him to play Lex Luthor, which I thought would have been a better casting for
Alexander?
Lex Luthor.
The older one?
The older one was gonna play Lex Luthor, right? Like he's the really
Alexander,
good looking
yeah.
one.
You want? Oh
Yeah,
yeah, no, that's a good. choice.
I think his brother
Bill.
as
Yes.
Brainiac
I can see
is
that.
not a bad shout at all.
I can see that.
It
I can
really
see that.
isn't.
I love him. Eric Skarsgård. He's one of my favorite
Yeah.
actors. He would nail it. He would.
He's transformative.
Yeah.
He's gonna be Nosferatu in this month.
Yeah.
So yeah.
he's like
My problem with go on.
No, I'm just agreeing with you. He's on my shortlist as well
Mm.
for Brainiac.
My problem with Cumberbatch is I feel like I know exactly what he's going to do, and those kind of castings never excite me. Where I'm like I have this feeling if he's given Brainiac, I know what's coming, right? Like I want an actor that is just going to interpret it in a way that is unexpected but good, right? Not unexpected like Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor. Kind of unexpected.
Oh,
I mean, like unexpected, like what's his name is Joker.
I know one guy I would love to see either he can be Alex or Brainiac because hopefully I'm not butchering his name, but Ed Screen.
Oh, dude from Deadpool.
Yeah, Ed Screen. I think he just has that look, that attitude. He can be menacing, evil, vindictive. He can just do it.
Oh, the villain.
Which
from
one?
Deadpool? You want to be
Ajax
in-
from Deadpool.
From the first one?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, the English accent from the first one.
Yeah, I don't.
He was also pretty good at Rebel. He was also pretty good at Rebel Moon.
Oh, don't even bring up that name in this.
I know, but he was good. He was the only saving grace if there was one for that movie.
I'll tell you another one. Did you guys watch Succession?
No, I have to.
No.
I have to. I was thinking about starting it the other day too. So
It's really good. It's really, really good, and it's only 4 seasons, and yeah. But like the guy who played the main son in
I know
that,
you're talking
I
about.
think
Yeah.
I think he'd be dope. I think he'd be dope as Lex Luthor, actually. But like, if
Kieran Culkin.
that's taken, No, not Kieran Culkin. Kieran Culkin would make a good Joker or Lex Luthor, but he would not look like I would not.
Kieran
put him as
Culkin?
Brainiac.
Heck no.
No.
Watch Succession. Watch
I have
Succession.
watched
and
Succession.
don't-
I know.
And you don't think
I
he
can
could
see
make a
Kieran
good
Culkin as a
Joker?
Riddler. I can see him as a Riddler or someone like that.
One who plays the eldest son.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the one who plays the eldest. Huh?
Oh, that's Nicholas
What
Braun.
about Jeremy
right?
Strong?
No, it's not Nicholas Braun. Come on, man. Jeremy Strong.
Yeah, Jeremy Strong.
Oh,
There
Jeremy
you go.
Strong.
He's a really good method actor. Even like if you tell him to play Brainiac, he would do something fucking weird. I'm telling you.
Oh yeah, I know.
And also, I think yeah, Tom.
Yeah. Good. No, I'm just looking him up, and yeah, he's got it. Yeah, he could do it. Yeah, I know who you mean.
But because what I'm thinking is like with all the updates we've seen now, like with AI and stuff, this whole idea that a super intelligent AI from space would speak in a robotic voice and da 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 is kind of like what we imagined AI to be. But now we know what AI could be. It would be kind of like weird to get more of like like a T2, what in T2, what the liquid one, when he would go up to people and he would pretend to be human.
Yeah.
I envision Brainiac more like that, like in a modern context, or more like having like fake human qualities, or fake lifelike qualities.
But you know what?
Sorry?
One guy.
That's what they did in Smallville with Brainiac. He was essentially a human. He looked like a human.
Yeah, that's true.
But
I don't want him looking like a human, but like
just the vibe. Yeah. I get what you're saying.
One guy I can think of, and this isn't Forrest Whitaker level, but David Johnson.
Oh, okay.
He was an Alien Romulus. He played an android in that.
Yeah, he's an Alien Romulus.
Oh, the black dude.
Yeah, I think he would be okay.
I'm not gonna lie, that's not a bad shout.
It could.
I know a lot of culture warriors would disagree with that for obvious reasons, but he was pretty fucking good as that android.
I've not seen him in anything actually.
Yeah, he's pretty good. He was in the industry.
Yeah.
I highly recommend Alien Romulus. That was a fun time.
It was.
Yeah, I kind of got a bit disconnected from
the Alien franchise. Yeah.
It's just after to be honest, after Aliens, it's not been the same.
Yeah, I agree.
The first two movies are absolute classics. But I think Aliens is so good that nothing else has really topped it since, honestly. And it still looks good today because of the practical effects, Yeah.
I would give Romulus a shot. I think it's back to basics. It's very simple in concept. Not all that original, but it's better than the last one.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I didn't hate Prometheus. Covenant is not.
I saw it in the cinema and I was like, nah.
Yeah.
So I didn't see the last one. I haven't seen the Romulus one either. Although people do say that's more like the originals than the other stuff. So
I think the guy who directed it, Fede Alvarez, he is awesome. And his love for practical effects, gotta love it.
Yeah, I mean, I love it when people do practical effects. Like it makes a movie better when you do practical. When you can combine practical effects and a little bit of CG, and you do that well, it's a whole lot better. Then I think James Gunn's doing that with Superman as well. Like he's tried to combine practical effects with CGI. Like he always does that in his movies.
I loved that in what was that? the Chris Pine movie recently, where he was like Dungeons and Dragons, man. Did you see that?
Oh,
I
Yeah.
still haven't seen that movie.
I love
That movie is great.
I am not a Dungeons and Dragons guy. Never have been.
Neither am I.
Watching
I'm
that
not into it
movie,
at all.
I thought it was a good time. I liked it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll check it out.
I want that guy to do a Shazam reboot so badly, bro. Whoever like did
yes,
that.
sir. Yes, sir. Daly and Goldstein
Yeah.
behind a Shazam reboot. I'm all for that.
By the way, see you, Darkness Under the Wind. I know we're not paying attention to the comments as much as we should, but
Oh yeah,
later on.
get lost in the conversation. But before we wrap up on Creature Commandos, circling around to Brainiac, I do understand the point that you're looking for. Like, I think Benedict would be perfect, but I also understand the fact that you would be getting like Khan from Into Darkness. You know exactly what you're getting. Maybe a little too safe for you, so you want to be surprised. I get that. I respect that.
Yeah, I would like Benedict to do a character that where it presents a challenge for him, like something like what's the one who always rhymes? That demon who always rhymes.
That demon who always rhymes?
In DC, the demon that always rhymes.
Etrigan?
Etrigan. I'd love him to do Etrigan, because you know how he transforms it from the guy into like Etrigan.
I've been low-key dying for Etrigan, The Question, like these more obscure characters. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
For a TV show, specifically, but
I want to see him do a villain. I'm tired of him watching him play heroes when he's so good as a villain.
He's so good as Khan, bro.
Like,
so good.
If you've seen Star Trek Into Darkness, you know exactly what I mean. Like,
I've seen it.
So good in that movie. I was like, oh, I want
Top
to do
tier villain. I don't think we talk about him enough. Top tier villain.
Yeah,
I can agree. I can see that.
I mean, like that.
He was really good as Khan. I liked it. I know a lot of people who are into Star Trek don't like it for some reason.
I thought, he wasn't the best choice casting, but man, he nailed that. Like, that's basically the reason I watched that movie, was because I saw him in the trailer and I was like, I've got to see this. Like, I mean, that was at the height of his, like, he was in Sherlock, and that was really well at the time as well.
Yeah, and when he was cast as Doctor Strange, immediately I knew that was a perfect casting.
Yeah, 100%.
And it wasn't.
Did you say?
It was not. It was not at all.
Would you have preferred Joaquin Phoenix?
No, not really. I would have preferred them not. I would have preferred them not making a Doctor Strange movie. That's why.
That's crazy.
Unless it was Sam Raimi's one, which was alright.
Oh, I didn't like that one.
I don't appreciate the slander, so we'll go back to Creature Commandos and save this for but lovely conversation. I've loved watching these episodes with you guys. Superman trailer is imminent. There's that report about a mid-December release date. I hope he's not messing around. I hope he drops it the week of the 16th, so I can prepare and we can talk about this thing, because it's going to be huge. It's going to be huge. And it would be nice synergy. Like, I think Superman trailer, then Creature Commandos episode 4.
Yeah.
And then DC is starting their new podcast, which that's what I love about James Gunn, dude. He is bringing life to DC. And he's making it more interactive. And I wish he would bring back fandom. I know I'm jumping all over the place, but I need more. Like, he's actively trying. I gotta love it. Gotta appreciate it. So,
have you seen DC Heroes United yet? Because I think he's behind that as well.
Let me look that up, because I did see. I did see something about it. DC Heroes United. What is it? Is it a
It's
animated
like an
short?
animated. It's like an animated series. No, it's long.
Okay, I
It's
see 27
animated
minutes.
series. Yeah, it's an
2
animated
weeks
series, but yeah,
ago.
you can vote on the outcome. Like it gives you
Oh, that's what
alternatives of
that
how
is.
it can
Okay.
go. But it's actually pretty decent. I have to say, I liked it more than Creature Commandos.
Oh my god, I'm gonna check it out because I've seen rumblings of that and I didn't
But
know
that's not a yeah, that's not a slight on
Game.
Creature
Yes.
Commandos. It's just because it's got like the main DC characters. You know.
Yeah, I see. We got all the main players. But yeah, I can believe that. I can believe that from you. I guess let's wrap it up with final thoughts on Creature Commandos. I think this was a strong premiere. I had a good time watching with y'all. It's a very nice. I'm glad they dropped the first two because it was initially going to be just the one episode. I'm glad they dropped the first two and give us a taste of what's to come. I think it's going to be a very good time and rumors galore. Who knows what who could show up, what could show up. I think it's going to be a very fun time and leading us into Superman. I'm ready. But what do you think about this this premiere, JG?
I enjoyed it. Like I said, exceeded my expectations. I love the animation. I love the fight choreography. Voice acting is on point. The one thing I'm still skeptical about is Circe and Bride. Bride having her way with Circe for the most part. I don't see how. I don't know about that, but other than that, yeah, I enjoyed it. Great start.
James, what'd you think?
It's everything that I expected. It's really fun. It's also there's a lot of really interesting characters who I want to hear their stories and get to know them and explore that. And the soundtrack kicks ass. I think the fight scenes, the animation's really good. There's a lot of promise. I don't think this is this is going to be the tone for the whole DCU.
No.
But for what it is, it's really, really enjoyable, and I'm looking forward to seeing the rest of it.
Nerdman.
I don't know yet. It's not the thing that attracts me to comic book content. You know, I love comics, and it's not the comics I kind of read. I don't read the Deadpools and these kind of things. You know, I'm generally on the more kind of like serious tip kind of things. Nonetheless, I'd recommend it to people who like comic book stuff. For me, it's a 6 out of 10 so far. It's okay, but again, that you know, my taste is different. You can't I don't think people should judge that. You know,
yeah,
on
absolutely.
what I think. It's like my taste is like very specific in comics. You know, I like the V for Vendettas, the Superman 78s, you know, Shazam's, like the hero's journey, the kind of like core hero's journey kind of things. Like I'm more interested in the mythic stuff.
Yeah, I think that's
rather than the kind of comedy deconstructions. Although I like The Boys, so what the fuck do I know?
Yeah, there's a place for it.
By the way, before we go, I'm taking umbrage with that DC title, bro. That title is trash. You guys were like, "Oh, I love it" because of this the title sequence where it's
not trash.
Superman.
You heartless.
Only Superman breaking the chick. Come on, man. You're not gonna put in a Batman or Wonder Woman in that shit.
We don't have them yet. Like they're not coming yet. Maybe when we get a
Wonder Woman, maybe
when
we get they're gonna change it?
I don't know. I'm saying that maybe when they cast a Wonder Woman or have a project coming, then maybe they'll put Wonder Woman up there. I don't know.
Yeah, I think listen, Superman's my goat. he's the only one up there, I'm totally cool with it.
Yes.
He was the first DC character.
No.
Remember, like
But
he was
I
the
don't
one.
give a trash. Like DC is bigger than Superman.
to,
Like I like Superman. Superman's my favorite character, but like that's
real.
the thing is, I will like it if they do one of those for every single character. Like when Batman has a movie, you have the Batman like coming like
That would be cool.
classic
Yeah.
1930s
No,
animated thing of the Batman, and then when it's like
I think
Wonder
they
Woman,
should do it. They should do it for like the big ones only. Like Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
You know, those three, especially the Trinity. You're like, they should get their own little DC Studios thing, right? I think that's fair.
And you do World's Finest, or maybe a Justice
Oh,
League.
World's
You do
Finest, man.
Superman,
I
flip to
mean,
Batman, flip to Wonder Woman. Maybe just do the Trinity. Who knows? But
DC, like World's Finest that's my like dream movie project for DC. If I could green light any project, that's the one I want. Like
that's okay.
This movie.
Everyone's got their thing, but that wouldn't be my one.
Or like, I don't know how profitable they would be, but it's working out for Marvel doing, like we talked about, those special presentations, quick 40-minute,
or Christmas, like.
Oh man, I would love for DC to do that.
I'm fed up of comics characters getting movies and projects where I'm just like, you don't need a project for that character. It's unnecessary. He doesn't have villains. He doesn't have an established lore. He doesn't have, interesting, what you call it, secondary characters or whatever. Like all this Ant-Man fucking bullshit. Like, I'm so fed up of it. Like,
how does Ant-Man get a flipping trilogy before Superman?
I know, right?
Right, exactly.
Like Superman is the greatest superhero ever
of all time. Yeah, exactly.
And he hasn't had a movie. I mean, he's never had a movie trilogy made by one director, like,
or just like two directors, just like a trilogy in general. That's crazy.
Yeah, but a quality trilogy. Like he hasn't had his Dark Knight trilogy. Like, he deserves one. And then but Marvel just go and give trilogy rights for like Ant-Man and stuff. Like, what?
I think that wraps up the conversation on Creature Commandos. I think we had a great conversation on DC as a whole. And I can't wait to do it next week for episode 3. So, JG, where can people find you?
JG Shaolin Terrific, the undefeated, undisputed final boss of the 36 Chambers of Shaolin. What? You can catch me live Wednesday nights on the OOC with the host Anzo, aka the Abbott, and the Osiris of the the Spliff King, and the Professor of Ganja, alongside his co-host Roberto, aka Mr. 100, aka No Trouble Did Anything Going to be Irie. No woman, no cry. And Saturdays on Square One, where the guys talk sports with the host Danny, the amazing, the outstanding, the charismatic, always man of the hour. Dr. says the illest because he suffers from that realness if you smell what Danny's cooking. And of course, with my homie, my brother from another mother, El Principe de Nueva York, Superwise with the new Creature Commandos watch parties.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Nerdman, what's going on?
I still don't get a mention.
Shut your face,
man. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. I still don't get a mention. I introduced you to Super. Anyway, all right. I'm not going to say
yeah. That's true.
Technically.
Only the stuff I mentioned will be made canon.
Exactly.
All right. So I am Nerdman, and no, I can't even do it.
Start off strong.
I was gonna try.
I am Nerdman.
I don't know how you do that. That's pretty impressive, actually. I have to say that. Yeah, exactly. I am Nerdman. Take care. It is pretty impressive. You got a script?
No, off the top of my head.
You just off the top of your head. That's pretty impressive, dude. Yeah, no, find me on Hot Takes Tuesdays, and unfortunately, I have to. Although I love Superwise, I have to share a panel with JG. Just make sure if
If you sleep with him, he's wearing a condom. And
You see, JP, see what I deal with, man. This is what I deal with all the time.
This is the community. This is what we have crafted 4 years in the making. This is what is.
This is my first time.
But yeah. No, it's nice meeting you.
I love that.
It's nice meeting you.
He's like, I'm new here. This is what it's like. Yes,
No.
this is what it's like.
It's nice meeting you. It's unfortunate it's under such hostile circumstances with this guy above me.
No response.
Yeah.
All right. James, where can people find you?
Well, I'm on all the socials. James Prescott 77. That includes Blue Sky, Instagram, Twitter, and you can find me there. I talk about Superman a lot and DC a lot, as well as a lot of other things. Yeah, and yeah, so check me out. Check out my Twitter. Yeah, and yeah, nice meeting everyone.
Nice meeting you too.
Absolutely. It's been great. We will see you next week for episode 3 of Creature Commandos. Until then, guys. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hopefully we get the same panel. Keep it up. But we'll update on the time that will be happening. But until then, peace out, guys. Take care.
Take care.